Hello students, by this video let us study how to determine the empirical formula with elemental analysis. So what do you mean by elemental analysis? That means to understand, to analyze the elements present in the compound. What are the different types of elements present in the compound and how many number of elements are present? So that we analyze it or we understand it, so that is elemental analysis. Okay, so by analyzing this element we can determine or we can write the empirical formula. So there are certain steps involved to determine this empirical formula. So let us see the steps one by one. So theoretically, by looking into these steps you find it difficult to understand, but while doing it practically is very simple. Okay, so that we will learn with an example. Now we will understand what are the different steps involved in determining this empirical formula. So first step is consider the total mass of the compound as 100 grams. So generally the different elements present in the compound, so their composition is expressed in percentage. So because we are expressing percentage, the total mass of the compound we consider as 100 grams. So that's what, consider the total mass of the compound as 100 grams. Okay, percentage means 100. So the total mass of the particular compound we consider it as 100 grams. Okay, then next step, second step, find the relative number of moles of different element present in the compound. Yes, so what we should do? We have to find how number of moles of the different element present in the compound, so that we will find it out. That is second step. Now third step, we will find the simplest ratio of the moles of the different element present in the compound, so that we will find it out. That is second step. Now third step, we will find the simplest ratio of the element present in that particular compound. Yes, so depending upon the number of elements or number of atoms present in the compound, we write the simplest ratio. Now fourth step, if the simplest ratio, sometimes it can be decimal or fraction. So in that case what happens, the simplest ratio we should convert it into a whole number. So using that whole number we write empirical formula. Understanding? So these are the steps involved in the determination of empirical formula. So let us take an example and understand or determine the empirical formula for a particular compound. Now let us look into the example. An acid found in tamarind on analysis shows 32% of carbon, 4% of hydrogen and 64% of oxygen. So we have to find the empirical formula for the acid which is present in this tamarind. So from the question is very well understood that this acid which is present in tamarind contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And the percentage of each, that is also given in the question, right? So let us write first the elements present in the compound, that is the acid present in tamarind. Okay, so elements, what are the elements? Carbon, then next comes the hydrogen and then next comes the oxygen. Okay, now what is the percentage of carbon given in the question? 32, so we write it as 32. For hydrogen it is 4 and for oxygen it is 16. Next, the molar mass of carbon. So molar mass of carbon is 12. Hydrogen 1. Oxygen 16. Yes. So how do we calculate the relative number of moles? So the percentage you just divide by molar mass, you get the relative number of moles. So that is 32 divided by 12 in the case of carbon. In the case of hydrogen, 4 divided by 1. In the case of oxygen, 64 divided by 60. Okay, so 32 divided by 12, so that is 2.66, and 4 divided by 1, that is 4, and 64 divided by 16, that is 4. Now let us write the simplest ratio. So how do we get the simplest ratio? Yes. So the relative number of moles you divide by throughout a common number. So here the common number you take it as 2.66. Okay. So in the case of carbon, I divide 2.66 by 2.66. In case of hydrogen, I divide 4 by 2.66. In the case of oxygen, again 4 divided by 2.66. Okay, now that is it. The carbon it is 1. In the case of hydrogen, it is 1.5. And in the case of oxygen also 1.5. Okay. Now because the simplest ratio is in the form of decimals, we have to convert it into whole number by multiplying by a common number. So same number 2 I multiply even the other ratios of that is carbon, that is hydrogen and oxygen. So 1 into 2, 2. So here also 1.2 into 2, so that is equal to 3. Here 1.5 into 2, that is also 3. So this whole number is nothing but the numbers used as a subscript for the atomic symbol of the acid present in the terminal. So carbon, the whole number is 2. Yes, the simplest ratio whole number in the form of whole number is 2. In the case of hydrogen, it is 3. In the case of oxygen, again it is 3. Yes, so the empirical formula for the acid found in tamarind is C2H3O3. Fine. So previous steps what we have studied, all the steps we apply here in this problem, and then finally we determine the empirical formula for the compound present. Fine. Hope you understood this video. Thank you.